Morning, guys. So just got up a little bit ago to feed the dogs, getting up to go make sure the trash was taken, and the things of a homeowner. You'd be surprised. So before we get started with the video, here's the thing. Like, I get random stuff on the counter all the time. So Emily usually goes to work around 7 in the morning. So again, I'm on spring break, so it's been pretty nice. However, we have 16 ounces of water in my blender bottle. No clue. Just random. Just sitting there. So I guess we'll solve that mystery later. So today we're going to be focusing a lot on macro cycling. And so macros is sometimes like a funny word for people because they're not really sure what macros are. So macros are typically your fats, your proteins, and your carbs that you're consuming throughout the day. So what I'm doing today and for the next 3 days is I will begin carb cycling. So my goal today is to get 100 grams of carbs with 200 grams of protein at 60 grams of fats. So that's something that I'm going to keep track of. So to be able to make sure that you're getting the amount of macros you need, you have to track them. So if you're not comfortable with what macros are, there's apps that you can do. There's things you can look up on the internet. Technology is a wonderful thing, but you have to make sure it's correct. So the fluctuation of macros between ounces to different like food items or liquid items, it's very, very different. So my goals today is to get 50 dry carbs along with 50 wet carbs. So dry carbs consist of rice cakes, graham crackers, almonds. I'm sorry, not almonds. Those are fats. Sweet potatoes, and then wet carbs would be like oats, your typical, let's see, anything that's wet, veggies, fruits. So even for me, sometimes like just knowing the difference between dry carbs and wet carbs. Dry is dry, wet's wet. But in the food world, that could mean two different things. Protein's going to, again, be around 200, as well as fat's going to be 60. So approximately around 1,800 calories. So remember, 4 calories per 1 gram of protein, then 4 calories per 1 gram of carb, are essentially like the rule of thumb here. So making sure that if you have a macro limit to meet your macros, try not to go above, try not to go below, because it's going to be essential for your body to be able to absorb that going forward. So what I'm doing today is, to start out, I will have 1.5 cups of egg whites. So typically I hate egg whites. I'll do egg whites raw. So that's not for everyone, again. So I'll do 1.5 egg whites raw, which is about approximately 35 grams of protein, as well as I will do a half a cup of cream of rice. So typically with the cream of rice, I'm going to look at putting more things into this. So typically I don't like cream of rice by itself. So if we look at the cream of rice, so 1/4 cup for amount of serving is carbs is 36 carbs for cream of rice. So this is almost the majority of my wet carbs. So this would be considered a wet carb. So the remainder of my carbs have to be dry. So I'm going to have a little bit of a window to get another carb in. So typically maybe half of a banana, quarter of a banana, depending on what I want to do later. So it has 2 grams of protein. So again, I'll keep tracking these on my app that I use. If you're not following me on Instagram, be sure to do so. I'm going to put the link in with the video in a moment. So it's Hercules Training. Be sure to go give me a follow. I'll put up a lot of good content as well going forward. So let's go ahead and measure this out. So I'll let you guys watch me do it. So typically, let's see if we can find this. So one of the worst things about this is trying to get a good camera hold. So right now I have it on a blender. So if you guys hear that noise in the background, It's these two. This is Daisy, and this is Captain. They just feel like they have to play all the time. Have to feel like they have to play all the time, and so if you hear them in the background and hear like some growling, it's just them. And so typically, like, Daisy will jump on Captain to try to get to the door because they always want to go outside. So watch. So sit, sit, sit. So Captain's pretty good at like just like laying down. Sit, Daisy. Daisy's spoiled. She's very, very spoiled. So she actually turns 3 years old here in a few weeks. So watch when I touch the door. See, nope. Oh, back goes up. Nope. Nope. See how excited they are? So he's off. So these dogs, and they'll go outside and they'll play for about 2 hours. Not even 2 hours. I'm sorry. About 45 minutes, and they'll come jump on the door, and they'll want to come again, and they'll want to go right back outside. All right. So back on track here. So what? Let's fix this camera. So what I'm gonna be focusing on right now is making sure. Cool. So making sure that we're getting the correct stuff in. So typically with my prep, again, we're only doing half a cup. So half a cup, and so I have my handy dandy scale here. So I typically just use the same bowl as I would previously, just because I know that visually that I can like kind of like eyeball it as we go forward. So typically what I put in my cream of rice, see what I'm saying? It's crazy. So I'll do a Himalayan, Hershey's Cocoa. Okay, so the Hershey's Cocoa has total of 3 grams of carbs too. So that's going to push our cream of wheat carbs up a little bit to around 39. Yeah. So around 39 grams of carbs total in this so far. As well as our cinnamon. So we have cinnamon, we have cocoa powder, and we have Himalayan salt with the cream of wheat. So let's go ahead and get this started. So let me go ahead and zero this out. Oh, also we will do half a cup of almond milk as well. So we're going to do half a cup of unsweetened almond milk. So if we're looking here, that has a total of 1 gram of carb. So right now we're at 40 grams of carbs for breakfast. So these are wet carbs. So I have 10 grams of carbs that I need to get in before I start my dry carbs. So tomorrow and today will be only 100 grams of carbs along with 200 grams of protein. So right now we're not getting a lot of protein, but within the cream of rice. But that's going to come when we have the 1.5 ounces of egg whites. Okay. So let's open this up. Okay, let's zero this out again because I took too long. Great. Okay, so we put that in. So it's a half a cup of cream of rice. And so typically the order of the food doesn't really matter. So I'll do maybe around a tablespoon worth of like salt. Not too much, but maybe half a tablespoon, just for taste. So if you feel like that you need to put more in it for taste, then do so. But the chocolate part, so we're looking at maybe like a tablespoon, so you're just going to throw that in there as well. So you want to make sure that you're drying, making sure everything is dry, put in first before you put your almond milk in, so that way you can get a nice clean mixture going forward. So cinnamon, so about the same as the chocolate. It may seem like it's a little bit overpowering, but it's not. It's pretty solid. So typically, like with my carbs, I like to do creatine monohydrate. So creatine monohydrates, are really good when you're taking them with carbs. So people have their own different philosophies. So making sure that you're getting your creatine in if you're doing a show, because it's super important that you're able to get this water push those muscles so you look fuller and not so much flat. So we'll go ahead and grab that. So it's about 5 grams. Okay, and so we're going to take this, and so we're going to mix this up. So this is what this looks like right now. So that's what it looks like, and we're just going to mix all that dry good stuff up. And so once we get this all dry, then we will place this into, well, before we place it into the microwave, we're going to go ahead and put the almond milk down. Okay, place the almond milk, and we are going to, it's about half a cup. So if you need to measure it, like I've been doing this for a little bit now, so if you need to measure it, do so. Just depending. So we see here, so about a cup of almond milk, and I'm just going to place that in there. And so what you want to do before you place this in there is to make sure you're stirring it, get the sides, and then go from there. So that's pretty much it, guys. Like that's breakfast in a nutshell. Again, you can put fruits in here. You can put berries. So actually, blackberries as well as blueberries are probably the best things that I put in here so far, because bananas, they typically get like mushy and they're not really satisfying when you let it sit for a few minutes. But be sure to let me know how you guys like it and go from there. So again, let's recap on what our macros are for this breakfast item. So we have 40 grams total of carbs, so wet carbs. We have right now approximately, just talking about the cream of wheat, we have probably around 2 to 4 grams of protein, as well as fats. We have maybe 3 grams of fats. So depending on what, 3.5 grams of fat. So we're getting there. So we won't have another carb until possibly later this afternoon post workout. So today is back and chest for me, going into the third week of prep, but it's all about maintaining and just being able to keep my composure going forward. So I hope you guys liked the video. See you guys soon.